The Association of Southeast Asian Nations comprises of Indonesia, Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos PDR, Myanmar, and Vietnam. India's focus on a strengthened and multifaceted relationship with ASEAN is an outcome of the significant changes in the world's political and economic scenario since the early 1990s and India's own march towards economic liberalization. India's search for economic space resulted in the Look East policy. The Look East policy has today matured into a dynamic and action oriented Act East policy. It was formalized as the year 2014 at the ASEAN India Annual Summit. This policy has officially doubled down India's engagement efforts with the grouping and other nations in the key geographic region. Apart from ASEAN, India has taken other policy initiatives in the region that involve some members of ASEAN like BIMSTEC, MGC, etc. India is also an active participant in several regional forums like the Asia Europe Meeting, East Asia Summit, ASEAN Regional Forum, ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting, and expanded ASEAN Maritime Forum. India's relationship with ASEAN is a key pillar of our foreign policy and the foundation of our Act East policy. The upgradation of the relationship into a strategic partnership in 2012 was a natural progression to the ground covered since India became a sectoral partner of ASEAN in 1992, dialogue partner in 1996, and summit level partner in 2002. There are in total 30 dialogue mechanisms between India and ASEAN, cutting across various sectors like agriculture, defense, regional cooperation, technology, finance, etc. The infrastructure connectivity of ASEAN and India is one of the key talking points in the regional partnership today, with both sides pushing for a greater degree of cooperation. The partnership can be strengthened by aligning initiatives to the Master Plan for ASEAN connectivity, expanding data, digitization, and technology linkages, and even collaborating for building reliable and resilient supply chains as New Delhi looks to make a stronger contribution to the evolution of the Indo Pacific. The connectedness of the two oceans, along with ongoing global rebalancing, calls for an open minded dialogue, which is what you have here. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said, delivering the keynote address at the ministerial session of the 12th edition of the Delhi Dialogue, a forum hosted by India annually, which serves as the main track 1.5 mechanism for India ASEAN engagement. This edition of the Delhi Dialogue, organized by the Research Information System Economic Research Institute for ASEAN and East Asia in partnership with the Ministry of External Affairs, marks the celebration of 30 years of ASEAN India ties that have evolved into a strategic partnership since 2012. The forum, appropriately themed on building bridges in the Indo Pacific, is opportunely synced with India's twin efforts to acquire a stake in the region through infrastructure projects, bringing its people and commerce physically closer with countries of the 10 member grouping, as well as to forge greater integration with these economies. The imperatives of a closer bonding between India and the ASEAN are, however, now more substantial, underlined by the Indo Pacific as the new center of geostrategic and geo-economic discourse amidst regional turbulence and concern over consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic. The conflict in Ukraine has made the global outlook even more uncertain and complex over matters of food, fertilizer, and fuel security. Like the rest of the world, India and ASEAN too are recovering from COVID and would have to be better prepared for future health emergencies by moving beyond exchanges based on immediate need and building longer term healthy partnerships. Moreover, both economies are driven by a rising consumer class, a strong startup ecosystem, a growing internet economy, and a robust demographic dividend, which need the advantages of digital cooperation. In this changed order of things, the Indian perspective has also shaped around to viewing ASEAN at the center of the Indo Pacific, geographically, culturally, and strategically, especially due to its dimension and location, which commands a wide coverage. Prioritizing the need to tap the maximum and unharnessed potential of the two economies, India has pushed for improving connectivity with the completion of the protracted Kaladan multimodal transit transport project and the India Myanmar Thailand Trilateral Highway, both passing through Myanmar. These are the most challenging of initiatives undertaken by India because of topography and local conditions, and India is pushing for early implementation with sustained focus, including through its bilateral engagement with Myanmar. The co-chairs of special ASEAN India Foreign Ministers meeting have also emphasized the need for early completion and operationalization of the India Myanmar Thailand Trilateral Highway, which is further headed for eastward extension to Lao PDR, Cambodia, and Vietnam. India believes there is also room to explore synergies with others like the BIMSTEC Master Plan for Connectivity, which will offer seamless connectivity from India all the way to Vietnam and Philippines, creating an east west lateral that will impact the entire Asian continent as a whole unit. Do let us know what you thought about this explainer video from Swarajya. This is Sharan Sethi, Swarajya's Associate Editor, signing off.